It is June 6th, 2014. We are back after 2 weeks. This
Wait,
is.
did you just say June 6th?
I
Seriously,
said
we're less
June.
than 3 seconds into the recording and you already screwed up.
Fuck!
It's summer already!
It's
Yay.
summer already. God damn
Chris,
it.
edit that part out.
Just edit this out. Fuck,
Nate?
damn shit. God damn it. Okay, here we
This
go.
is going great.
This is going
God,
great.
first recording of the new year, can't make it past 3 seconds.
We're 30
Happy New Year,
seconds-
everybody.
30
We're gonna
seconds
fuck
in.
up just as much as we did last year.
That's outstanding. Okay. This is Pauper to the People. My name is Nate. With me is Peter,
Hello?
Chris,
Hey.
and Mr. Dan.
Hey!
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Or this lovely 2-week break?
Yeah, just laughing at you already and making
Yep.
fun of you already.
That's fine. I thought I'd keep some things normal from last year.
We gotta keep it consistent. You're the punching
Yeah,
bag. of
you
the show.
gotta. Exactly.
We can always bank on Nate.
I'm fine with this. I don't care. So, how was your Christmas, Peter?
It was wonderful. I had extended one, so had not only one on Christmas Eve, Christmas, and then for a week after that, because my
Yeah.
sister from who was living down in Louisiana came up to visit, so lots of time with family and friends.
That's cool. Chris?
Oh man. Well, 3 kids. Christmas was quite a trip.
Yeah.
So got rid of most of the puppies. I'm gonna keep some of the puppies from for another week
Yeah.
or so, and so household's finally starting to get back to normal from Christmas. Good times.
Yeah. How was your Christmas, Dan?
It's been great. We don't have any snow in Sweden, which is unusual.
That's because we got it all. That's because
Yeah, I heard.
Minnesota took all of it this year. It's like, no, send it all this way.
Give us back our snow, please.
Trust me, if I had a way of giving it back to you, I would.
Sweet.
What did I do? Oh, yeah, Christmas at my house. So my family came over on Christmas Eve and destroyed my house. That was fun. Took a few weeks to recover from that. Then I went to my grandma's the next day, and I still have 2 holiday parties left. So if all goes as planned in the next 2 weeks, Christmas can finally die. So
Yeah, that reminds me. I'm going to a Japanese New Year's party on
nice.
Sunday.
That's cool.
Fun.
Yeah, that I have no idea what that means, so it will be interesting.
I'm guessing it'll be sushi.
I don't know. I think
How
they do like a
stereotypical are you?
ritual.
I don't know. Sushi's good.
Incredibly.
I wouldn't mind going to a Japanese Christmas party because sushi's awesome.
How do you know this?
It's
is
actually
sushi?
New Year is much more important than Christmas in Japan.
Ah, yes, I suppose.
This is the great
Christmas
holiday.
is more or less like a couple's holiday than it is
Oh.
like family time.
Oh, okay.
So
But I got my Pauper to the People Secret Santa gift from Will from Germany, and it was awesome. I got German food,
Ooh,
so yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it.
strudel.
No, I didn't get strudel or anything. I got a
Coconut?
can of no. I got a can of well, it's all canned food because he can't send anything not in a can overseas.
it could just be a mess.
Yeah, no, there's actually rules
There are
against
laws.
it. There's laws against it. I got a can of white Weiwursts. It's like a white German sausage. My kids loved it. I had it too.
Nice.
We got a huge thing of Nutella. A huge
Yay,
big
Nutella.
thing of Nutella. I didn't realize that was from Germany, by the way. I just know it's something my wife.
Nutella's obviously just from heaven.
I just
Where else could it be?
all I know it's something my wife got excited about. I'm not a huge fan of Nutella, but my kids love that. And I got 2 cans of currywurst, which I haven't eaten yet. But that looks really good. And then I had the German chocolate, and of course that's already gone.
Of course, it's already gone. As I'm looking at your picture.
The German chocolate was already gone. Yeah, that was good. My wife was jealous, and I didn't share it. It was awesome. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. I'm hoping the person that I had gets his soon. I sent it to him, but apparently he's on an army base in South Korea, so that'll take a while to get there. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Other than that, just the same old stuff. Just I had spent a lot of time just sleeping. On my being that we didn't have any shows or anything, I took my sweet time getting a show together because there wasn't much over Christmas holidays. So, but yeah.
There was the one thing that happened over the Christmas holidays with one of the pro players.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go into that. Good reads. That's what we have this week. An article by Miguel Gatica. He wrote an article explaining why he got suspended, which is complete BS. If anyone wants to read this article, I would take a... Oh, and it's from MTG Madness, one of Pauper to the People's sponsors, too, so that was pretty cool. Miguel Gatica, if you don't know who he is, he's a player from, was it South America?
I'm not sure exactly where. Yeah, he is from South America.
He's from South America.
Costa Rica. No.
Yeah, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? That's not South America. That's Caribbean.
Where's that, Caribbean? Okay. Well, he is from Costa Rica or whatever. He was at a tournament, and he went to swing in on his opponent. He was in an Esper mirror match for Standard. He swung in on his opponent, said swinging in with these, and he proceeded to tell his opponent he wasn't done yet, assuming he was probably going to do something before damage. Well, the player he was playing put his life total down to 3 without giving him a chance to finish what he wanted to do. And there was a big confusion over it, so they called the judge over. They explained the situation to the judge. The judge pulls aside Miguel Gatica and asks Miguel, explain what happened. Well, Miguel tried to explain what happened, told me the exact same thing that he explained in the article. And they didn't ask him 2 more questions and came back, went to the judging table, came back and DQ'd him from the tournament. And then he gets an email 14 days, or he gets an email right before Wizards is going on holiday break saying that he's suspended for 6 months for lying to a judge. Which, to me, all this equates to is miscommunication, which... In that case, I pay attention to what pro players do, but not as much as our normal competitive Magic players. But even in my eyes, I think this is utter BS because it's simple miscommunication. There's no reason to suspend somebody for miscommunication.
Yeah, I know. If I listen to a few podcasts, like that's the standard default is if the judges think you're lying, you're disqualified. That's straight up, and there's not even anything you can really do about it. You can appeal, and then they'll, consider it. But it's if they think you're lying, you're just straight up disqualified right there.
Well, that's just dumb because, depending on the judge, you could have say I know this is hypothetical. You could have a judge that say Brian Kibler and a judge got in a disagreement, right? Well, this judge holds some sort of grudge with him. There could be a judgment call, and that judge could go over there, and he could just say, "Well, you're lying to me," and you're done.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I know it's hypothetical, but that's
what the appeal
BS.
process is for, right?
That's BS.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it one way or another. There was somewhere the communication fell out, and the judge doesn't know Miguel on a personal level, probably.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
He probably just thinks it's some other dude. He doesn't, he's not like a huge name. He's not like LSV or Brian Kibler or anything like that. He's, Miguel is a popular name where he's from, but I didn't know who he was before this, honestly.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I think it's just completely unfair. It's like, really?
So if the judge perceived something like it was like, if Miguel said something that was entirely different,
if it was if it was obvious miscommunication, which from the sounds of it, even if I was a judge at a pro event level like this, and this situation explained to me, I would have equated it to miscommunication immediately. It's obviously miscommunication. There's no way around it. It's like, this is obvious miscommunication. It's just kind of dumb. I think it's just kind of dumb and unfair. Yeah. To a certain degree.
Speaking about other podcasts that could comment on this, I would love to hear what Judgecast has to say, because they will probably have to investigate this.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But I don't know. But there's that article there. Miguel talks about exactly what happened from his point of view. So it's pretty interesting to read. Reflecting on 2013, a personal perspective, this is an article written by Greystone. He posted by Greystone. And is it sure? Yeah, maybe he did write it.
Yeah, he did.
Just
Yes, he wrote it.
yep, Greystone talking about his year in review of 2013. So it's a pretty good article, good read. And then we got competitive standard popper ups and downs. This article I thought was pretty cool. This article really goes into how play with the talk about how competitive popper put the ban with the dailies going away, how it's going down, and player run events are starting to pick up the slack to a certain degree. And I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. And of course, the shuffler complain about the shuffler and how it hates everybody. But I mean, I don't think I don't think having player run events is necessarily a bad thing. It might reinforce to Wizards what they're missing out on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it might maybe Wizards would pick it up. And, oh crap, we're missing out on all this because people are still doing it. You know. So I mean, it sucks. I mean, granted, I'm gonna have to agree with everyone else. It sucks that the dailies are gone, but at least
Are both MPDC and SPDC going now?
Yeah.
Standard Pauper, because one of them was cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the guys picked up the slack and he started hosting the Thursday ones.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, they're both going now. One of them's more friendly to Americans. It fires off, I think, at like 5 Pacific time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is like pretty much European only. It's like it starts at like noon Eastern time or something.
Yeah.
Yes. In a couple of weeks, I will be bringing on Brandon Rankin here,
Nice.
Cerulean, as he will be playing the Standard Pauper Gauntlet. And he was really upset about the Thursday tournament because that was his big chance to play competitive Standard Pauper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably quite happy that it's back.
That's cool. But yes, I mean, player run events are still there. One thing I can see with player run events firing off is it might encourage a whole new generation of grinders. Because you got to start somewhere. I mean, you got to start somewhere in practice of getting better before you get to the point where you're doing official events on MTGO and grinding. So that's the one thing plus I can see with player run events. But you always do have that one instance where someone might complain about player run events being run bad or horribly or whatever.
I've never heard that of the Pauper events.
Me neither. The Pauper events have been great. Standard Pauper as well.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
do you think there is a realistic chance for Standard Pauper 8-mans in 2014?
Hopefully. I mean, I really think that if you're going to take away dailies, if they're going to take away Pauper dailies, the least they could do is offer a little bit of choice. If they want to only fire off 8-mans in Pauper, you think Wizards would be able to bend a little and give Pauper players a little bit of choice, either standard Pauper or regular Pauper. I mean,
they might cannibalize on Pauper 8-mans.
I don't know.
So I mean, something they could bend a little bit because many people that are ticked off about the dailies being gone. So
I think most of the people are just done being ticked off because they know there's.
Yeah.
It's not changing anything, right? We can yell, we can stomp our feet, and nothing's changing. It's.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I've kind of lost hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll let you present this one, Chris, because you're the one that posted it. I didn't read it yet.
No, the next article is an article called "Be Kind." It's posted on GatheringMagic.com, and it's basically sort of an article about bullying, and specifically with reference to Magic Online. And the author goes through, and I don't want to say her name because I'll just butcher it. Rada Brujak. Okay, well, I butchered it. Sorry. She just goes over, hey, this is real, right? This is the same thing, same concerns as like cyberbullying, and you don't know whether who and what is on the other end of the computer screen. We sit here and we do an MTGO Rage of the Week, but I kind of started doing that because this stuff makes me laugh. But I'm a 29-year-old adult who's been through all this in my entire life, and I do know that back then when I was a young kid and I was being made fun of for liking Ninja Turtles or whatever, or heck for liking Magic the Gathering, I got made fun of, and it hurt. And now that I'm grown up, I can laugh about it, but back then it hurt. And you've got people, I don't even know how old, some people playing on Magic Online are 12 years old or even younger, and they hear things like ROFL, of course you're a blanking joke, just gonna have the only outs every time, enjoy being garbage forever.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the author of this article is like, what she said? She said, man, I gotta find the line now. Where she was in a really dark place, and she used Magic Online as like her getaway for a period of time. So whenever she logged on and experienced something like this, it actually made her cry.
Wow.
I'm just saying,
Pretty
let's
ridiculous.
work together and make a happy and safe community for everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. I mean, yeah, there is a younger generation of players playing Magic now, so maybe some people need to consider that when they're going into these daily or these tournaments and stuff like that. And
I mean, I've talked to people too who are like online who've been, who told me that they're 13, 14 years old. I'm like, hey, that's cool and everything. It's like if you want to chat, I'm cool. I'm cool with chatting.
Yeah.
I can tell you some things about life. I can mentor you or whatever. I'm on Magic Online, and that's what I do for social interaction. I've got a family of. I've lost count of how many family members I have now because I count my animals as family members.
Yeah.
I think I'm up to like 10. So, my social interactions there. That's cool.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
Sorry.
So, yeah, it's a great article. You should definitely read it.
It's good.
I think you should also consider when raging that you are actually stunting your own growth. That if you go the extra mile and be polite, then you have the time to reflect on your own play. Because when you're raging, you're definitely not learning anything.
No, you're spending too much time typing.
Yeah.
I've been in many gaming communities, and actually I think the Magic Online one is one of the worst. Only Battlefield is worse. But playing poker, playing MMOs, people are much friendlier.
Yeah.
One of the things too, you got to realize that like a lot of the time this game is just a statistics game. You're like, you use the poker reference, Dan. It's like your aces are good 88% of the time, but against one other player. But your chances, if they saw the flop and then they hit something on the flop, then your chances go down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think poker players are much better at not being result-oriented than Magic players.
They are, because it actually does drastically affect their wallet. Magic players don't really lose any more money for raging.
Another thing to consider is on your pro level, you'd be surprised how many pro poker players are also pro Magic players. I've heard of it.
It's a transition from pro Magic players move to being pro poker players.
Yeah, I mean,
but they're often not the same at the same time.
Yeah, I've heard things before where they had players that did both. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of scary the way that works. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like it's a math game half the time, and sometimes sometimes I have the turn 4 Elspeth on the play, and you're just gonna lose. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have the Delver Nut draw, and you're gonna lose. But then there's other times where I had a game where I was playing a 2-man Pauper queue. I was playing Delver, and like I just had an awesome hand, right? And I was playing Mono Black Control. I was like, all right, this is fine or whatever. But he had like the godly like Disfigure, Kumbai Witches, Unearth, Deadweight, like this, just all this cheap removal, and I just had nothing to counteract all the stuff that he had. And I was like, well, he drew the exact right 13 cards to beat me, so he did.
Yeah.
He also needs to have metagame quite well against you, right?
Yeah.
Instead of using a slower version of MBC.
Yeah. But it's like he had the exact right combination of cards to beat me, and it's like, so, well, that's going to happen some percentage of the time, and I can't get mad about that.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, should we move on to the big topic, our topic one? Well, actually, I think we only have one topic one today because that's all we really need because it's a lot to talk about. Topic one, MTGO year in review for 2013. My big things I noted this year was Gosu Flicker was a huge card and Flickergate was a thing for a while. I think
Standard Pauper.
Standard Pauper. I think everyone was happy to see that deck go.
Dan
No!
Dan loved that deck.
Yeah, you guys, like, you thought it was such a big thing, but all you had to do was play like Dimir Creatureless Mill, and you just easily whipped that deck.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
And then also to note the big Pauper, obviously the latest news, Daily is going away, and we got rid of 2 big Pauper decks. Fissure
Storm died
Yep,
twice.
Storm died twice. Wizard just looked at Storm and said, "Nay, nay, we're gonna kill you."
I said we got to back up a little bit because the year started with I can't remember, was it Empty the Warrens? Those things were banned first, right?
They got banned right away.
The Warrens, Grape Shot, and Immigrate.
Yeah, and then Gate Crash came out.
Yeah.
Did we even get anything in Pauper from Gate Crash other than sort of Cloudfin Raptor?
I don't think we got much out of Gate
no,
Crash.
we
Not
Our
that I
best
can
came
think
before
of.
this. Yeah, nothing.
Foundry Street Denizen.
When did Flicker come
Oh
off?
wait, yeah, Foundry Street Denizen. That was actually a pretty
Yeah,
good
we
card.
got Denizen. Denizen ended up going in Goblins, and I remember saying something about that I figured that would end up in Goblins.
Yeah, card is sweet.
Oh yeah, the other thing, not to toot my own horn, but Urza became a thing, and I remember being told that Urza wasn't going to go anywhere.
It wasn't.
It's still like it's teetering on like playability right now.
It still became playable, and that's all that counts.
Teetering on playability right now. I don't think it's still really playable.
And to much of Chris's not liking it, eye candy is still a thing, even though the playability is teetering.
Yeah, that is a direct result of Dragon's Maze because it got Nivik Cyclops.
Yeah, Dragon's Maze was a big one we got. We got Nivik Cyclops. That's a big card that we ended up getting.
Basically made an archetype like go from tier 3 to tier 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deck is still awful, by the way. I still crush it every time I come up against it. So you can keep playing it. I'll just keep crushing it. It's cool. I'm good with
You
that.
crush it, then when you lose to it, you're not happy.
I lose to it like once out of like, I don't know, 20 times. My record
that-
against them is ridiculous.
I'm guessing that 1 in 20 times is a huge thorn in your side.
It is, but you know, I gotta remember statistically sometimes they have like the triple Apostles Blessing draw, and I can't do anything about it.
Unfortunately, it happens.
Yeah, and like the Kiln Fiend on the play with
Yeah.
the triple Apostles Blessing, I'm just gonna lose to that hand.
So, but no, other than that, I don't know. I really enjoy the whole MTGO strat coming up. I love. I actually this year we got MTGO strat, and I think it's one of the best websites out there for anything.
Well, thank you.
I love the website actually. Oh yeah, I forgot to add that in news. There's also MTGO strat bot now, so you can buy cards from that. I've already sold cards to it, so
Yeah.
got
I
rid
tried
of them.
selling cards to it, but they didn't want to buy my Sphere of Resistance. I don't know why.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, I saw it on the library. I'm like, sweet. MTGO Strat is buying Sphere of the Resistance, and they're buying it at a higher price than anyone else. And then I tried to sell it, and they're like, not buying. I'm like, dang it.
Because I got rid.
Someone probably already sold it to the bot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I ended up selling my Pack Rat and a whole bunch of other stuff to
Why
it.
would you sell Pack Rat? Don't sell Pack Rat. Pack
I
Rat's
don't
awesome.
play rares online.
But it's Pack Rat.
So
Overall, for me, the MTGO strat was quite a big thing in 2013, as well as the YouTube channel that I started almost exactly a year ago, right, beginning of January. So yeah, this was one of the biggest year in Magic for me.
yeah, it's another channel I watch on my downtime too.
We are starting on MTGO strat beginning, as soon as I can kick Will into doing it, we are starting to pay writers.
Cool.
Yeah. It will be small at the start because we don't have any money, but the intention of the bot is to finance that.
Yeah, have the bot finance the site. Makes sense.
Together with advertising then, because we've been running at a loss for the whole year, but I think it will be better now. We have huge traffic, actually. I just got the reports. I thought that we had dropped down a bit at the end of the year, but we hadn't. So so we are now kicking into new gear.
That's cool.
With MTGO strat.
Yeah. Then the other thing to note is Chris Plummer bowing out and leaving me with the task of main hosting the show, which it's been fun and it's been really, really challenging. And there's like not one episode that I dread there's not one episode that I don't dread. I dread every episode I listen to.
It's a big shoes to fill.
Yeah, it is. But according to everything I've heard, no one's really complaining or whatever. So I'm gonna assume
we need to have him on as a guest.
Yeah, I know we do. I assume that I'm not doing too bad of a job because no one's been complaining. So
you're doing great, and I don't want your job.
I don't want your job either.
So
credit for stepping up.
Other things too. After Chris stepping down, we've got 2 new hosts with us too. So
exactly. That's
another round of applause
cool
here
thing.
for Chris and Dan.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But that's all I really could. That's all my really year 2013 in review. So.
Yeah. So
sorry. Go ahead.
I joined this podcast. That was pretty awesome. I started my own podcast, although I'm not too sure about the future of that one. Played a lot. I mean, this is the year that I got into Pauper. It was, February where the Restoration Angel Thragtusk combo just like completely killed me out of Standard, and I was like, screw this. I'm gonna play a format where I can do fair things. I don't have to play against Restoration Angel. Yeah, fair things in Pauper. So I joined in Pauper in like February and played it until, I still play it actually. So
that's good. Haven't given up yet, huh?
No. So, like I mentioned about the podcast right now, my other podcast, Competitive Paupercast, I'm not so sure about the future of that podcast because it's just, as of right now, it's, Wizards isn't giving Pauper the support that I think it needs to have a cast about pure competitiveness. So, for now, I think I'm just going to put Competitive Paupercast on a hiatus until
something happens.
Until we get dailies back, or until the premier events fire, or something that's worth talking about competitively. Because right now I view it as a casual format, and I had a debate about this on Twitter, but Pauper's leaning more and more casual anymore. So it's when decks like what we're going to review in the metagame are placing in first and second, and like just generally bad decks are that are placing well, it's like, well, this is just a sign that it's not really, you're not playing tournament Magic then. It's like, you remember back in the day whenever you first started playing Magic, where your friend had this blue deck that always just crushed you. So then you built the anti-blue deck, right? Like the blue like the red deck to beat all blue decks. I'm talking like main deck chills, or whatever, those extreme Tempest hate cards.
Yeah.
The glorious middle finger saying, you know what?
Yeah.
You and your shenanigans.
Screw you and your islands, Or like islands do not untap during their controller's untap phase, right? That's what it feels like Pauper is to me right now. It's like you're building decks that are like just built to hose the round one opponents, and then after that it doesn't matter where you place. Sometimes you'll just luck out and your deck that has all 2 ofs will place in first.
Yeah.
Or your affinity deck that is not Peerless Affinity, nor is it regular Affinity, that comes in second. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're running 1 Peerless Research and 2 Ichor Wellsprings and like 2 Disciple of the Vaults. What is your Affinity deck doing exactly? Because it seems to be not really. It's like a confused hermaphrodite.
Oh.
Not really sure what they want to be, but they're both, and they're neither. So, yeah. That's just the way that I view.
What's up with the premier events not firing?
They're just not. They're not gathering enough people, right? Their premier events have a minimum of 65 people to fire. And when I've been up watching these things and joining them, like, they'll get up to, like, high 20s, right, in people joining, but, you know, after the firing time, it just, people start dropping because they realize that the event's not going to fire because it still needs 40 more people to fire.
But this is not only Pauper that has that problem with the premier events.
It's totally not only Pauper that's the problem. It's the only premier events that are firing are Theros Sealed and Standard. And even the Standard ones aren't filling up anymore.
So that means that Wizards could actually care about this and fix it. So
They
premier
could.
events are not lost.
They could. Yeah, I mean, premier events aren't lost, but it's pretty like apparent to me that they just want Pauper to go in a different direction. You know, they want I think they want it to be back down to the player run level, and you know, I think the premier events were like a last resort to see if like maybe they had like an actual thing, because if the premier events fired consistently, then they would understand that, you know, Pauper is here to stay, and people really actually do enjoy the format, but obviously.
Then they would have made money from Pauper if the premier events fired.
Yeah.
I think, aren't they making money anyway if people are logging on and playing?
Yes, they are. Well, I mean, if they're playing 8-mans, they're making money. You know, I've made this argument a million freaking times. I'm really tired of it. Every daily event, every ticket, every event ticket, every single one on Magic Online is coming from the Magic Online store. So every time you put tickets into the system, it's going directly back into the Magic Online store.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
now they're still getting the tickets because the grinders moved to other formats, but they're also selling cards, so now they're earning more money than when they run Pauper dailies.
Well, you can defend that.
I think they know exactly what they're doing here. It's this is a financial decision on Wizards' part.
Yeah. Definitely not a fan-based one to keep people happy.
No, but they know that when they do unpopular things, we are all addicts. So we will, in 6 months, people
We'll come crawling back and going,
Yeah, they'll remember the Pauper Daily events as this foggy thing in the past.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from, because people can mock me if they want. I've been a professional wrestling fan since I was 5 years old. I've never stopped watching it. That's fine. But like, you'll have the same thing even with wrestling fans, or like the big champion right now is Randy Orton. Everyone hates the way he won the belt, and all they do is sit and watch. I read the forums, and all they do is sit and complain every week that Randy Orton walks into the ring with the belt. Yet they still watch, and Randy Orton's had the belt for a long time. they complain every time
opera.
they complain.
Man soaps.
It is, and I know it's made up, but I mean, the fact that he's still the champion, everyone complains about it. It doesn't stop him from not tuning in the next week. They're still watching.
Well, though, it's because he's a villain, right? It's okay to watch a villain, right?
Yeah.
But, like, right now, I'm viewing Wizards as a villain, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
They took away my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's villainous, and that's not cool. But you know what? You're right. Dan, you're 100% right. I'm addicted, and I'm going to keep on playing. And this is why, like, I bought a Theros block deck, and I've been playing Theros block dailies, because, you know.
And then suddenly you spent more money than you did before.
I actually did not, because I bought all my rares from bots, so.
Yeah, but still, you had to buy cards. There was less Theros mythics for others to buy, so in the end they earn more money. People have to open more Theros.
I guess I'm thinking about building one of my Commander decks online just so I can play Commander, because I really like the format. So
It's horrible online, I think.
Well, I heard that, but if you find the right group of people and you play with the same people all the time, well, it's not so bad. And I know there's enough people in the community that I wouldn't mind playing with online. So
it takes forever in paper as well, right?
it takes forever no matter
You have to like
what.
set your
So.
matches to like 120 or something. Like match 120 minutes.
No, it's
I've heard of
forever
like
is the switch.
I've heard of commander games that last like days. You know,
It
like
can.
elapsed
That can happen.
time last days. And I'm like, wait a minute. So what do? Like you just leave all the cards on your table and shit?
Yep.
Excuse
Break
me,
for
Chris,
lunch.
edit this part out. I just said a bad word.
I think I have a group that meets at my house for EDH every week, and I think the longest game we ever had was 3 hours. We had a grueling 3 hour match this weekend. So
I think I had a 3-hour Commander match online, actually, with 60 minutes per player, and then it went forever. So I think it was
God.
3 hours, 20 minutes.
I get mad when my opponent takes like 3 minutes on the timer.
You should probably not play Commander online.
Yeah.
Yeah, never
Well,
never do that.
it's not so bad the first 8 to 10 turns of the game. It's after turn 10 that it really freaking takes a turn.
Well, yeah,
'Cause,
you gotta
like-
figure out who you're gonna attack, and then
Yeah, because sneak attack games we have an EDH league, and we have well over 30 people that show up for that league that are on the board, but at least five or six I think at most we've had like 4 tables of 4 to 5 people playing in an EDH game, and he cuts it off at an hour to an hour and a half. So like each game is you get an hour and a half to complete the game, and it's the first few turns are pretty fast. Go through really fast because just laying land and setting up. But after turn 10, that's where it takes a toll. Because I know I'm guilty of dirtling because my graveyard deck. If I get rolling off to the right start, I pretty much could wipe the board over and over and over again until I can go off. And once that deck does fire off, it dirtles the game out forever until I can actually pull off my win condition. And I can do it at will. So that's part of the reason why I get killed right away when I play that deck, because nobody likes my graveyard deck.
yeah.
But you know what? I equate getting killed fast in EDH to most of the time. It's not because it's this everyone. If you play in the same group over time, everyone knows your generals, and they'll look around the table and many times at our tables, it's oh, Nate's playing card or kill him right away. I equate that as like I just made a good deck. That's why I'm getting killed right away or getting targeted right away. I mean,
I
that's
quit
pretty
that as
much what
everyone
it
hates
comes.
you.
It's probably the latter. Let's face it.
But
I
if
mean-
you play a multiplayer tournament in Commander, won't there be like 90% politics?
Oh,
If you
Yeah,
see
politics is a huge
politics
thing.
is a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's funny when people get angry. It's like, I don't die. It's like, Peter, how did you make it so far? Because I offered to buy my friend lunch. It's all in politics, kids.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what it equates to, and I don't know. I guess that's what. So
So Nate is a horrible politician. Awesome.
pretty much, my
Well,
decks are
It's
good.
terrible with words. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
True.
I am.
So Peter, what did you do this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Well,
Last year. I
Standard.
guess.
last year. A lot of standard Pauper. That kind of became my thing. And I still love that format to death, even though I haven't gotten a whole lot into it since, Innistrad rotated out, which makes me kind of sad just because I haven't had the time for it. But hoping to get back.
Like Flickergate.
I actually played all the way through Flickergate until it rotated.
Yeah, and I hear you loved it too. Every step of the
Oh.
way.
Dan, I know you love the deck, but seriously, you and everyone who play that could go straight to hell for a while.
All right, fair enough.
Just goddamn.
Play it
Usually,
down.
I'll be honest. When I'm playing online, I'll use every resource that's to my disposal. I shouldn't have to use the clock as a resource that freaking often. Is all I need to say. I can't recall a single match I played against him that didn't go to within 1 minute game time for them.
Sounds like you're playing
Yeah,
against bad Flickergate players. I know when I was playing the deck, like if I won in the first 10 minutes of every game. So
Well, I was also playing blue-eye control for our last brew, so
Yeah.
it was everything to stop them and
So-
just sit back and
so
they
it was
couldn't
control
finish
versus
me.
control. Yeah.
Hey, that blue-white deck was fun to play against Flickergate because you could really, the Flickergate player is like, I'm going to make it painful for you, and you can turn around and play blue-white, and you're like, guess what? It's going to be painful for you too.
Yeah.
So it really equated to like just hurting like two players just purposely trying to hurt each other on like more so than normal.
Like the only thing that made me sad is like, yeah, like I would almost always have him to an inch of their life, and then it'd just be like, and I just got a Cerulean Gatekeeper, and you're like, oh, you son of a gun, top deck, here's my Flickergate. Oh, well, at least you didn't have an Archaeomancer to go with it. Hey, guess what I found my next turn?
So what you're saying is you liked Ghostly Flicker and Guildgates. Got it.
Oh, I love Ghostly Flicker with the Guildgate's perfectly fine. Ghostly Flicker with frickin' Gatekeepers, those guys can go straight to hell. God damn.
Alright. So, end of the story is Peter loves Flickergate. I think we'll just move on.
And I love Blink decks, that's the weird thing, but whatever.
Well, the other deck that was the enchantment deck, junk enchantments. That was another big one that
Yeah, Peter likes that one
we
too.
complained about.
Like I've said, I always get beef when everyone takes a look at my sideboards for freaking standard Pauper. It's like, why do you have like 5 to 6 cards to hate out enchantments? Because never again, that's why.
Wait, you can't run 12 naturalizes. You're only
I
allowed to run
said 5
4.
to 6.
5 to 6 ways to kill enchantments.
You're only allowed to run four naturalizes per deck. I'm running 12. Screw you. Never again.
Never again. No, what was it? Like if you were playing green whatever, you had what was it? Ray Revelation, like 4 ofs of each. It's like, no, you're not going to. What part of never again didn't you catch on to?
Yeah. Sweet.
What a terrible person.
You are, but so am I because I used to hate out your EDH decks. So
Yeah, who asshole, besides this guy, puts Tividar's Crusade when only one person in the entire play group has a Goblin deck?
I don't even know what that card does.
correction,
Destroy all
That's-
goblins.
It's Real Goblin? That sounds like a
Correction.
sweet card.
5-player game.
Correction.
And it's one person.
no correction. It was Tividar's Crusade and Tividar himself, and everything else, every other white card that exiles a black or red creature. So
Hey, are you allowed to play like the super hosers in EDH, like Chill
yeah,
and Tsunami?
if you want,
Sweet.
if you so desire to. Oh yeah, and the 2-drop Destroy All Plains. I played that one too. Or no, Destroy. No, I can't remember. It was Destroy All Mountains or something like that. There's a Destroy All Mountains card I remember
Is there
playing
like
too.
an anti-Magic the Gathering EDH deck that I can build?
There is a deck actually. My friend Alex Burnick has it. And I don't have the deck list. He simply names the EDH deck I Hate EDH. And it is every card you can possibly think of that dirtles and punishes everybody in the game. Period. This deck isn't meant to try winning. It's meant to be the biggest pain in the butt that you can possibly be before somebody kills you.
So you just have Charizard and a couple of tutors.
No, not Charizard, but the card that whenever a creature hits the graveyard, it's destroyed automatically.
Yeah.
I want a deck that decks you by making you draw all 100 cards
That's possible.
while playing Winter Orb.
Welcome to Kami of
Yeah.
the, what is it? Silent Moon or whatever?
Yeah, Kami the Silent Moon is a
The
2-drop.
Howling Mine dude.
So I've been
Blue.
playing Cube online, Holiday Cube a lot, and like Winter Orb is my favorite card, like ever. The card is so fun.
It's definitely painful.
It's so painful. Like I can actually like visualize people fuming behind their computers when I play Winter
Well-
Orb when they're tapped out.
I've seen it in person because the Winter Orb is actually part of the Stasis deck, and I remember
I played Winter.
I remember
Stasis.
back when people played the Stasis deck. I remember doing tournaments against the Stasis deck, and the player's win con, the player using the deck's win con was always, "I'm going to make you scoop." And I remember winning a few tournaments against the Stasis player because I had decided, let's muscle it out. I don't care. And stasis playing the stasis deck it's punishing to the player you're going against. But if you're getting forced to go against it, you can really take the player you're taking on in that deck. You can really punish them by making them play it out too. It's like you set the deck up so you can have a taste of your own medicine. I'm not gonna give up.
Well, that's not that much different than like the blue-white control decks that are in standard right now. They
Yeah.
have like 2 win conditions.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm looking at a deck list right now that has 2 Elspeths. That's the win condition. 2 Elspeths.
Wow.
Yep. And then I've seen.
Wasn't
I
there a
don't have a
deck that
pithy needle.
Yeah.
wasn't there a deck that only had Elixir Immortality in standard?
Well, there's one here that I'm looking at now that has 1 Elspeth. It's the win condition.
Oh, yeah. Trim those Elspeths.
Yeah. And then 1 Elixir of Immortality. They all have 1 Elixir of Immortality. Basically, they just like they forgo everything else and just win with like 1 or 2 win conditions, and that's it, right? Like some of these lists run Etherling instead of Elspeth or whatever, but
Yeah.
mostly it's just Elspeth. Just Elspeth. Just scooped Elspeth. That's what I say now.
Yeah, there's a few formats online. Like as much as I like to play Pauper, I am considering doing Modern online, but that's because I already know what deck I want to play. Because I already have the deck in paper. So
What's that?
Which deck is that?
I play Grixis in paper. So
Grixis twin. I thought those were always blue-red.
I
What's
add
Grixis?
black to mine. My deck is pretty much the blue-red twin deck, but I add black to it so I can use cards that I can use hand disruption and terminate.
Okay. I mean, I don't.
'Cause
look at Modern
terminate-
a whole lot. But
Yeah, because terminate and hand disruption have pretty good value in modern games I've seen. If you can
Okay.
disrupt their hand if you can control the game and disrupt their hand and keep killing their creatures off, you can sit back and wait till you can go off with the Grixis.
All right, Nate.
Go
Well,
off
good news
the
for you is
twin.
it's only going to cost you $458 to build online.
So
To build
So that's
split-
only half
build
of
twin.
Jund.
Yeah, it's only half of Jund.
yeah, so. But no,
I
I've
have
been
6
thinking
cards in
about it.
Jund.
Yeah, but I mean that's what I got. I got the paper deck and stuff, but yeah, it's fun. I mean, I like playing modern and paper. So
Deck's sweet. I thought about going to modern. I'm just like, I don't know what to pick for modern. Like,
Jund. Just play Jund.
I don't have
You
$1,000.
have to. You
Sell a
have to
kidney.
pick very carefully.
I don't have $1,000, so that's like out the window. Like, I'm thinking.
But you have a kidney.
Merfolk?
but you have
Yeah, like Merfolk seems solid.
Or if you want to go really dirt cheap, you can always play Soul Sisters. That's
Yeah.
one of the cheapest decks in the world to make.
isn't Soul Sisters cheap, and so is the Living End deck.
No, man,
Living End's
but-
not
No, no,
cheap
no,
anymore.
no.
Don't play
they're,
with them.
they're a couple of hundred both.
Yeah,
Oh.
Since
Soul
when did
Sisters-
Soul Sisters become expensive?
Soul Sisters
Depends
is
if
70.
you want like the. Yeah, okay. But for Living End, you need the 4 Fulminator mages, and they run off. They're really expensive.
Yeah. So Fulminator Mage is like 20 each.
They're like 34 or something. No?
Oh, are they? I don't know. Well, let's see here. I'm looking it up right now. No, Fulminator Mages are 152 for the playset.
Wow, 40. They're 40 each on MTGO Traders right now.
Yeah, right, about
Wow.
that. About that. No, there was one that I saw that was pretty sweet, and where did it go? It was basically like a super ramp deck with Primeval Titans and Amulet of Vigor.
Yeah.
So cool looking.
I thought Prime Titan was banned in Modern.
No, he's not.
No, it's just banned in EDH.
Oh.
But we did have it. Speaking of Prime Titan, we had an interesting conversation at the EDH table last night. The other night, Prime got banned in EDH, but looking at what replaced Prime Time as the guy, Solvin Primordial, there's been this just doesn't relate to our play group. Or I've been reading online on EDH. There's a lot of people that are really fed up with Solvin Primordial. Like, there's a lot of people claiming that Sylvan Primordial is actually more broken than Primetime.
Wait, Sylvan Primordial is the 7-drop from Gatecrash that kills a non-creature permanent when it enters?
For each player, and then you get a land for each
Oh.
permanent you destroy.
There's people that are complaining that is, take Primetime away, but this is way more broken. Which, in some aspects, I support the argument because...
That's pretty sweet. That's like a 10 for 1 or something when it hits.
Because
Basically.
I kind of agree. I'm kind of on the band. I'm not really on the bandwagon, but supporting that because I play a graveyard deck, and let me tell you, if I bounce back some old Sylvan Primordial in my graveyard more than twice, there's really not too many people happy at the table.
Yeah. Wait a minute. We need Ghostly Flicker and Archaeomancer. Complete.
Go Simic.
I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean,
That way we can Peter something brand new to rage about. Flicker Primordial Gate.
yeah. But I mean,
This just week, 13 people found dead at a local game store. What happened? Stay tuned, you'll find out why.
But yeah, Sylvan Primordial in the right combo is really, really broken because I mean you can literally we've had this happen at during League. It's I think Jordan Kreutzer and or Caleb, one of those guys, play it, where they literally got to play Sylvan Primordial and flicker infinitely. Infinite flicker, which pretty much leaves your opponent down to nothing except creatures. All their land are gone, all their enchantments, all their artifacts. You're just left with nothing.
Okay, but that's not like the broken thing. That basically means that your opponent, that guy won because he got an infinite mana combo. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should win if you get infinite mana.
Yeah, the game's got to end at some point, right?
No matter how it ends, Primordial's not the problem then. The Primordial's problem whenever it becomes a ridiculous 10 for 1 every time you cast it. That's actually sort of a problem, and I can understand that.
Yeah.
That's it's kind of like Bloodbraid Elf, right? That's why Bloodbraid Elf got banned in Jund, just because it was always the 2 for 1.
But to some degrees, I can understand the argument for both of those for that reason. I mean, and one of my friends, Garrett, we were talking. Garrett's he goes, I think once EDH, when the people who designed EDH, because Wizards pretty much goes off whatever they do. He's pretty much thinks that Primordial, if whatever happened, Primetime. If Primetime had come off the ban list, it would pretty much be Sylvan Primordial going to the ban list instead. The two won't exist in the same format. They'll switch them out if Primetime would ever come back.
Okay, but
they're never going to bring back Prime Titan though.
No, they won't though. I don't think it'll ever happen. But in a world where they possibly could unban it, I'm pretty sure Sylvan Primordial would be taking its place. The two will never exist in the same format, same EDH. If it would ever happen in the EDH format, they would never exist together.
Okay, but
and you heard it here first. You heard it here first. That commander to the people.
Sorry.
God, no kidding.
Okay, so all Primordials have an enter the battlefield effect that affects all opponents, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the other ones aren't as bad. The Sylvan Primordial is the only one where you get land. The other ones you just do something.
The red one is almost an insurrection. I don't remember what the blue one is.
The blue
white one
is,
paths everything.
The blue one
paths one creature from everyone.
Yeah, the blue one is you steal instant or sorcerer from everybody's graveyard.
Yeah. Well, after they mill 10 cards or something, right?
And the black one is
steal a creature from everybody's
everyone's graveyard and put it into play.
Sweet. Anyway.
But yeah. Sorry.
Commander to the people when one of the hosts doesn't even play Commander. I still don't know how to play Commander.
You make a deck that's larger than normal, you only have one of each, and then you waste 3 hours and get angry.
You try to have an attention span longer than 3 minutes.
That's not happening. Alright, I guess I'm just...
you should try playing a game with Nate. He'll talk, and I was like, hey Nate, it's your turn, you should take it. What? Okay, untap, forgets that it's his turn and just keeps rambling. It's wonderful time, I tell you.
Whatever.
Sweet. Alright, we need to move on.
Yes.
You have work, right?
Yes, I do. We need to move on.
Metagame is stupid. I'm not going to talk about the metagame.
Mono blue control.
Did we finish 2013 without talking about Temporal Fissure?
Apparently we did.
It doesn't exist. It's not a real card.
Okay.
Not a real
I'm pretty sure we covered when we said Storm died.
All right, metagame it is.
All right, what do
Temporal
we
Fissure
have?
was a thing. Everybody hated it, so we banned it.
Standard Pauper had Ghostly Flicker. Classic Pauper had Fissure.
Yeah.
You can get Cloud Post for 5 cents now.
Oh man, you better buy it because they're gonna unban Cloud Post. Not.
No.
In modern.
Worst financial advice ever, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know, he seems like a solid guy. I trust him.
All right, let's look at the metagame. I'll go over it because it's the metagame.
Lightning's stupid.
All right, our first place deck has 4 Blightnings in it.
So stupid.
Actually, it's a pretty good card, I think. You can't really argue with 3 damage and make a person discard 2 cards.
But for 3, it's hard to say.
You're getting a lot for 3 mana.
Yes, but it's also a source of
guy's-
speed.
Okay, his deck is mono black control, except it's splashing for Blightning.
Yeah.
And well, I
And
mean,
some
I don't think it's worth it.
electrickery in the sideboard.
Okay, he has
Arc Lightning.
an electricity. He has like, look at the sideboard, all one ofs, except for like 2 aggro skulls. How random is that?
Yeah, I think the Riot Spikes is a little
Okay. Anyway,
ridiculous.
actually, I've been watching this guy. Chris Al Silva plays a different deck like every 8-man he plays in.
No.
Yeah, I've been like watching all the 8-mans and stuff, and he's always on
Yeah.
something different. So
Yeah, but Blightning, that's actually kind of interesting. That's abnormal. So that's I noted on this one. Other than that, when I was looking through the dailies, I'm seeing a lot of the same decks. It's either mono black or Delver blue, or I mean, it's not anything we haven't seen before. It's really nothing new. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's been pretty standard. The same decks. Goblins are showing up a lot more because they're ridiculously fast and annoying.
Surprise, you're dead.
Yeah. So, then the other one we got in standard Pauper here. We got a white weenie deck getting first place, which one standard Pauper white weenie, pretty decent deck.
Yeah.
But the big thing is, what really caught my attention to this was a little deck called Chandra's Whip, mainly because the name is hilarious. I'll just go over this deck quick. It's what's the player's name? Richard 3.
Yeah.
It runs 4 Foundry Street Denizens, 4 Frostburn Weirds, 4 Minotaur Skull Cleavers, 4 Rakdos Shred Freaks, 4 Rubble Belt Makas. The card's awesome. 4 Annihilating Fire, 4 Lightning Strikes, 4 Razor Tip Whip. Awesome card, apparently. And we'll go over that in a minute. 4 Shock, 4 Chandra's, or 3 Chandra's Outrage, 3 Madcap Skills, or 2 Madcap Skills, another awesome card, and 19 Mountains. Sideboard has 4 Electrickeries, 3 Active Treason, 2 Mugging, 2 Splatter Thugs, 1 Mountain, 1 Madcap Skills, 1 Dynacharge, and 1 Chandra's Outrage. Big thing in this deck, Razor Tip Whip. And Peter, what? How did you say when you first noticed this card? You thought it was a horrible card?
It's not that it's a horrible card. Like, I don't like it, but I can see where they're using it, just because it gets there consistently, and black can't do anything to stop it.
Yes, I thought that was the ingenious part about this deck, because when I first looked at this deck, I read through the list, and like every other list I read through, it's like, huh, that's interesting. But when I read through this list, I got to Razor Tip Whip and started laughing, because as soon as I saw what they were doing there, I'm like, they're telling Mono Black to go to hell. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious, because
I think I'm going to build
just
a
funny.
Flickergate list with Cerulean Gatekeepers and Razor Tip Whips as my win con.
You have cancer. Your whole family has cancer.
It'd be so evil.
By the way, more things that happened last year of 2013. Rages of the week.
I just thought that was
Rage of the Week.
but the Razor Tip Whip, I thought that was a really cool idea for this deck, It's like, how can we play mono red and still tell mono black to take a hike? Hey, let's play a card that they can't do anything about.
Yeah.
That's like watching them sit there with a mitt full of removal going, you know, you throw a creature down, that thing is dead. But
I'll
But
just,
I'm gonna die in 20 turns to Razor Tip Whip.
I just like that. It's like, that is just awesome. Because I don't think there's actually anything in black that actually do anything about it,
no,
period.
black doesn't destroy artifacts.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Seems a little slow.
I would love to be watching that game too, where somebody pulls that off, where they just sit with a group of creatures and start discarding them, and just have 4 razor tip whips in the game. Just play them just sit and cast them as they play them, and just being like, I can do this all day. Do you want to give up yet?
You're a bad person and you should feel bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of our meta game. Actually, that's literally all I got. That's all I really found. So on to finance with Dan.
All right. Well, economically, we see that Pauper is not in a very good shape. Many grinders are selling out. That is affecting the prices. Together with the flashback drafts, we are now looking at 15-cent snuff outs, $1.19 flame rifts, 15-cent spider silk armors. That was a $4 card in just a couple of
I gotta get
weeks
those.
ago. So I wouldn't. This now Pauper has become a really, really high risk speculation area. It has always been high risk, but now it's even worse. Some cards are holding up. They are the legacy cards, Daze and Gush, for example. Though I thought Flame Rift would hold up because it's more a legacy card than a Pauper card. So if you're really into gambling, you should buy cheap Pauper cards now, definitely, and hope that, for example, Premier events get sorted out. Some cards will probably never be cheaper than they are right now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna jump on the spider silks.
If you're more like into normal speculation for value, you should look at more expensive cards from especially Ursa Block that has been drafted for 2 weeks right now. I think for solid percentage return, you should go for $1-2 cards like
Thrawn Dynamo. And...
yeah, stuff like that has dropped and will probably return to their old values in 2 months.
Okay.
I think the biggest one I like the best is Sowing Salt, which is played in Modern.
The card's awesome.
It's dropped a lot, and in 6 months there will be Modern. In 5 months there will be Modern PTQ season, so people will buy their Sowing Salts for $2 again.
That card is dirty.
The Sowing Salt, the highest it's ever been was 2.57, which I guess right now it's
300%.
So yeah, all right.
It's the best one I've found so far, but overall everything worth more than 50 cents in Ursa. But I wouldn't go for the big things like Giant's Cradle or Sneak Attack, because they are all in danger of being reprinted in Vintage Masters, and you will have to time it perfectly, and you will have to... There's a lot of money at risk.
Yeah.
So it's probably better to buy 100 Sowing Salts than buy one Show and Tell.
All right.
That's finance right now.
Okay.
I've also started doing a video a weekly video for finance. We're gonna work with weekly videos on Magic Gathering Start on YouTube this year, and Chris will be doing the Pauper videos, right, Chris?
Yeah. I'm still doing Pauper videos every. Pure MTGO moved my article to Wednesdays now, so I'll be doing videos for Wednesday.
Cool.
And I'll do a finance video right before pretty much before I go to bed, because I wake up at 4:30 for this show. So before I go to bed, I'll do a finance video.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah. Well, Chris did it for 17 episodes of competitive Paupercast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'll have to do it forever here.
Awesome.
Cool. Rage of the week, Chris?
Rage of the week. Today is Rage of the week. We have 2 of them. There's been more over the holidays, but these are the 2 that I could find before the show. We have a Rage of the week brought to you courtesy of Cloud Zero, also known as Cloud06 on Twitter. Follow him. He plays a lot of Pauper. So he's playing against a guy named Spoons. Here's your shout out, Spoons. SCHPOONS. Spoons says, "How boring is that all that deck plays?" Cloud Zero is playing mono black control against his opponents. Looks like Delver, maybe. It could be mono blue control. I can't tell from his graveyard.
Well, he's got Delver in there, so I want to.
Omen Speaker.
Yeah, he's got Omen Speaker. I'm not sure what that purpose that serves. So it could be like maybe he's playing whatever. Anyway, so Spoon says, "Is that all that deck plays?" Because presumably Cloud has killed Spoons' like 1,000,000th creature or something. So Cloud replies no, and Spoon says, "Is that a yes?" And it's like, no, that was a no. And Spoon says, "I think that's all you play. Bad 2/2 creatures and removal. How boring." Cloud replies, "Not my problem. Sorry." Spoon says, "How boring for you?" And he says, "I pity you." And then Cloud Zero plays a Kumbaya Witches, and Spoons replies, "Wow, that creature is terrible. Spoons has conceded from the game. Spoons has left the game." Yeah.
Wow. So he's getting mad because he's playing good. Oh.
So bad, that creature's so bad, I'm gonna scoop.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, okay, so my opinion is, if you are playing a blue deck that runs counterspells, you have no right to bitch about any other deck.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, you can't say that their deck is bad or anything like that. It's just, yeah. Okay. Other Rage of the Week is brought to you courtesy of JSiri84. He's playing against a guy named Traumaray112. And Traumaray112 replies, "Lose to Lucker first round, paired with loser Merfolk second round. LOL, not my day." So JSiri proceeds to presumably just trounce him. And this says Traumaray blah has conceded from the game. And Traumaray replies, "Ask mommy for some more money if you can't afford another deck. Come on, that deck is so bad."
Wow. Some people wear the flag to show defeat so well.
It's the number 6 deck on Goldfish for
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it's a fine deck, right? It's kept out basically because like Jund and Affinity are just kind of like not great matchups for it.
Yeah.
But like it's a fine deck. You know, it's got the disruption, it's got the tempo. It's kind of like playing Slivers and Pauper.
Yeah.
Except you have counterspells and bounce.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's pretty sweet. I would play it, you know. But it loses to Affinity because Affinity is like a lot faster in Modern than it is in Pauper.
Yeah.
If you can believe that.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
You got
when
zero
play,
drop 1/1s.
yeah, 0-drop 1/1s and like Mox Opals and stuff where you
Oh wait a minute, I have some experience with that, Peter.
What?
Stupid red freaking artifact. BS.
Oh, Kadaltha Red?
Oh god.
Oh, good old Kadaltha Red.
F that deck.
What, just because I could turn one swing for, what was it, 8?
Ridiculous.
sounds like a sweet deck.
Ridiculous.
So what I found funniest about this rage actually is like this guy's telling Jay Siri to go ask his mommy for more money, and like I was like, you know, Jay Siri has like a $2,000 legacy deck that he plays routinely. He's not playing Morpho because he's broke.
He's playing it because it wins.
Yeah, he's playing his dad, you guys who just likes the deck, but
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
To each their own. But yeah. Anything else? No more Rage of the Week?
Nah, no more Rage of the Weeks. We'll be back with more, and
Yes, we
be
will.
sure to tweet them to us or comment them on our Facebook page or whatever, and we'll be more than glad to share your Rage of the Weeks. We love this portion of the show.
It's
And
fun.
you know, like it's important to, if you're on the receiving end of these, like I emphasized earlier, make light of it. You know, it's not it's not the end of the world when somebody makes fun of you. I'm sorry if try and get the most out of it and understand that these people are not in. They're jokers, right? You should totally make fun of them that they're raging this hard over a silly game.
Yeah.
So take that how it is and share it with us and laugh with us.
Yeah. So,
Good
anything when you want to add anything else before we close this out?
Yep.
All right. First off, before I close the show down, remember if you guys are going online, check out mTGO Stratbot. They have some the collection's getting up there. There's some choices now. There's the choices are going up a little bit.
The bot is still stocking up, so it's looking to buy rares and mythics.
Yep. So
pretty much not commons and uncommons.
yeah. So I mean, if you have some rares, get them in there. But there's for Pauper. From what I looked at for Pauper, there's a decent selection of Pauper cards in that bot. So it's kind of cool.
According to my finance tips, it's selling pauper cards, not buying them.
Yeah. So,
Right now.
yeah, but I mean, still, there's choices there. Other than that, you can catch me on Yukon online, my Twitter at Nathan Yunkin, or just floating around on our forums and all that. How can I get a hold of you, Chris?
You can contact me on Twitter at cweaver8518. You can contact me online at cweaver. I'm always down for a game or chatting or whatever.
And how they get a hold of you, Dan?
You can contact me on the Pauper to the People forums, where I'm Sissela. You can contact me on YouTube on Magic Gathering Strat and on mtgostrat.com. And one other thing about the site and the YouTube channel, we are right now looking for more writers and more video makers. So if you're interested in writing about Magic, any format, or doing videos on any format, even paper, then contact me by all means.
Cool. How do I get a hold of you, Peter?
Oh, well, Midnight03 online. Same thing on the Popular People forums. It's pretty much the two main places to get a hold of me.
And no Twitter, because he's not a millionaire yet.
Pretty much.
Not going to let you forget that, because that was hilarious.
I stand by what I said.
So
Get a Twitter. Grow up.
I'm staying away from Twitter too.
Grow up, Peter. Get a Twitter.
No.
All the adults are doing it nowadays.
yes.
Really? Peer pressure? That's what we're going with?
Other than that, if there's any Minnesota listeners going to Con of the North, you'll be able to see me and Peter there. We're headed down to Con of the North on the third weekend of February. Yeah, third weekend of February. So we'll be out there playing some board games and stuff. We'll bring back pictures and stuff and reports on what we saw at the con and all that. It's pretty fun. But other than that, until next week, I'm Nate.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Chris.
I'm down.
And this is Pauper of the People.